Hey, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of Fish and Bread Water Head. You know what it is, the show where Keno the half-breed spits a little bit, chops a little game with my people out there in video world, all the viewers saved and unsaved. That's right. This time, this episode, we're going to take some time out to address something I've been checking out for a few, about a week now. A lot of controversial talk about this new Kanye West video, Power. You know what I mean? A lot could be said about this dude. You know what I mean? A lot of things that probably are not true, but there's a lot of things that are true that could be said about him, his music. A lot of people feel he's a great artist. You know, very creative, controversial. All these things may be true, but there's also been comments stated about Kanye West that he's an Illuminatiist, that he's a Satanist, that he's a Mason. If you go on YouTube and all these other websites, there's a lot of stuff out there about this particular man and his personal views on different things. You know what I mean? Deity, his personal views of music, whatever. But I wanted to give another side of this thing that may not have been addressed, other than, you know, the symbols and stuff that have been done in his videos. I wanted to approach this from a different way. So what I chose to do was give you a little rundown of some of the things that are in the videos that I noticed that some people may not be talking about. I mean, other than the obvious things like Horus, the Egyptian sun god, I believe, you know, the big chain around his neck that he be sporting, a lot of other few, you know, obvious symbolisms that are in his video, like, you know, horns and stuff. People only touching on that a little bit. And lately, you know, I've been listening to a lot of the younger generation talking about the Illuminati. A lot of people don't even have no idea that it's been around for a long time. I mean, a long time. We're talking about the beginning of American history was influenced by Masons and an idea that they could create not only a new world order, but that they could actually control the world through organized, secretive societies, through alchemy, which is, you know, basically witchcraft and sorcery and stuff. And these are tactics that have been used for a long time. But what I wanted to address specifically was these things pertaining to this particular video, which is cool because it stirs up a lot of questions in people's own personal lives. A lot of questions that some people just say is speculative. Some people say that it's just, you know, talk, he say, she say. But some people starting to really question what's going on in the world. And that's what I'm really trying to get at right now. So, you know, we can get past all the okie doke and all the big words and all these things. Let's get down to the fish and the bread. You know what I mean? So let's do this. Okay, check it out. This Power video came up, and originally the producer Marco Brambilla. Kanye originally saw some of his pieces in New York, which are basically videos that are layered loops organized into one motion, whether they're up and down, sideways. And one particular piece, I believe, called his I Was Civilization by Marco Brambilla. And I actually went and saw this video on the internet myself, and it's supposed to be a portrayal of civilization from, you know, from hell through earth to heaven. But what tripped me out was when I got to the top of the video, heaven looked exactly like hell. It was the same video set. Now I got me to question what's the director's motive. Inside of this video there was also a lot of symbolism. I couldn't even catch it all. You know what I mean? This dude was dealing with Egyptian symbolism, the definitions of people lifting up human beings, you know what I mean, where humans are gods and stuff like that, mythology, Greek mythology. It was a lot going on in this, and it just led me to believe that, you know, the person who directed Kanye West video, he got the same ideas that Kanye might have and a lot of other people. But the particular video, Power, was the obtaining of his power. A lot of people feel like this was because he fell off, you know, that he was coming back to his place of power as an artist. That ain't it. Okay, what I found out that in this video, through a lot of these things that was going on, and it's only a 90-second video, what I found out was that the horns, let's address the horns on the women. They're one of the first things you can notice if you look at the video. The horns on these women are called the horns of ibex. An ibex is a type of goat. A goat is in connection with Satanism or pagan religion. That was one of the first things that caught my eye. You know, right away, anytime you see a goat head, it's usually the symbol of Satanism or some type of pagan religion. You know, the pentagram upside down. Then there was the sword of Damocles, I believe it's pronounced, which was hanging over Kanye's head. Had a halo around it. The origination of this was Damocles was supposed to be a courtier, which is an attendant of a court. He was a courtier to Dionysius. It's pronounced Dionysius, who was a tyrant. And a courtier was someone who flattered and you know, gave flattery which was insincere to the authority, the authority figure. And he did this to Dionysius, and Dionysius offered him one day of trading places. And when Damocles traded places with him, they were at a banquet that evening. He noticed that he was sitting with a sword over his head, which is being held by a horsehair, one single horsehair. And this just threatened his whole idea of what, you know, a great man was. And Dionysius explained to him that this was consistent with the fear that a great man lives with every day. So that's the symbolism behind that. Also, there was a woman that had wings. You know, one dude tried to say this was Lucifer. It's possible. What I found out was a lot of this stuff was dealing with tarot cards. Tarot cards is a deck that that originated in the 15th century, which were used for games, you know, Italian games and such. But around the 18th century, they started being used by mysticisms and occults to project futures or fortunes to somebody through spiritual pathways. And these tarot cards reading, the woman with the wings, she represents the judgment card. The judgment card represents misery, calamity, deception, tyranny, tyranny and oppression in one person. So, you know, there's a lot of things going on here, but these things were tarot symbolic. They had other meanings, but these were the definite meanings of them. The Page of Swords is another card, and this card can be found to the left of Kanye, the guy that's coming out with the sword. From this angle, he represents authority and secret service and spying. Now, the other dude that was coming from the opposite way is a representation of the card of the Seven of Wands, which stands for business and negotiating and war of trades. And if you notice at the end of the video, when it comes together, they bring another Masonic symbol together. But the Temperance card is another tarot card which I found, which was hanging on the head of Kanye. It was to the left, the upside down lady. And this card represents religion and churches, but in an upside down in tarot reading in reverse, this card meant for someone stubborn or argumentative who refused to come to understand it and was also impulsive and erratic in behavior. Ain't that been said of this dude before, you know what I mean? But also, there was another person another lady hanging upside down to the right of Kanye. And it had a cloak that came, you know, just dropped from under her. This woman represented the Hanged Man card, and the cloak which dropped represented the world. So the symbolism of this, which was hanging upside down, also meant that the wisdom, intuition, and prophecy, man,